This is Skip Lockwood, and you're listening to MetsMusings. I was a pitcher, a relief pitcher, a closer with the New York Mets. I have a new book out called Inside Pitch, MetsMusings. Thank you very much.
This is Len and Jeff from Baseball and Barbecue.
And the one place to go for New York Mets news,
Past week game reviews,
upcoming series previews,
interviews,
analysis,
opinion, and what's going down on the farm. It's Mets Musings with Gary Mack. So keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.
Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
Episode number 345. How is everyone out there? Took a little bit of time off there, but it's great to be back in the chair. Let me click that over there. Great to be back in the chair and back with you all after the news of this week that the Mets have a general manager. But first, before we get started, let's give our condolences to a great Hall of Famer, great baseball player, an all-time great. Willie McCovey passed away yesterday at the age of 80. Big Stretch McCovey, as he was known, was part of a formidable Giants lineup that included Jim Ray Hard and at one point, I can't think of the guy named third baseman, but the other third baseman. Jim Davenport and Willie Mays, of course, and just one of the great first basemen, great hitter, clutch hitter, intimidating hitter. Go watch some film of Willie McCovey. When he came up there, he was so big, just a huge mountain of a man, and he would pound that plate and swing that bat back and forth at you, and very, very intimidating, great power hitter, and, of course, a Hall of Famer, and very sad news that he is gone now at the age of 80. So our condolences go out to his family and to the San Francisco Giants organization on the loss of a great player. Now, the Mets have a general manager. They announced the other day Brodie Van Wagenen. I think that's how you say that. Wagenen was announced as the Mets' next general manager. And, gotta say, little bit of a shock here. I thought Bloom had a good chance. I thought Melvin had a good chance. Surprised they went with the agent to be the general manager. But it's definitely a different move. It's kind of a risky move. It's definitely a move out of the box move. And for all you people out there that wanted to do the Wilpons to do something off the wall, something completely different, hey, they did it. They did it. So no complaints. I don't want to hear in a year or two if this guy happens to not work out. That, oh, there we go. Look at the Wilpons cheaped out and went after the guy that had no experience. No, they went and did something different. Something completely different. Something that they have never done before. Something that was completely out of their realm. Their choice usually would have been a Bob Melvin, 66, knowledgeable baseball guy. They know him, kind of old school, but open to the new stuff. But no, they went and took the odd choice and went with Brodie Van Wagenen. I don't know if he's going to be good. People ask me, is he going to be any good? Is this going to be a mistake? I don't know, but you know what I say? I don't know if it was a good choice. I don't know if it was a bad choice. It's an interesting choice. And let's give the guy a chance. Let's see what he can do. Maybe he's got some innovative ways of putting together a contract to keep the pitching staff. We don't know yet. He definitely knows the game. Okay? He's never been a baseball executive per se, but he knows the game. And he's probably talked to a lot of general managers. I would imagine he's talked to them all at one point, being an agent. So he knows who he's got to deal with. So from that aspect, I don't see a problem. The only problem I see is in contract negotiations with former clients. Now, they've mentioned that he will probably recuse himself from those negotiations. But, he is the boss now. So if he knows something about DeGrom, don't you think he's going to say, well, there's this point, so we can't pay him because of this? Or there's that point, or Syndergaard, or whoever else is his client, was his client that's on the Mets? That's the only thing that I have a question of. But it could work the other way too. He could know certain things, and he could know something that might make Jake DeGrom, for instance, sign, that they could come up with some sort of innovative contract that's not going to cost the Mets as much, and it works out for both sides. And maybe he can come up with something like that. Maybe he's discussed things like that already with DeGrom. So, there's a plus and minus there. Again, he said he'll recuse himself from that particular negotiation. So, what that remains to be seen. But as I've said, it's an interesting choice. I don't know if it's a good or a bad choice. It's interesting and out of the box and something different and something completely different with that the Wilpons have done here. And you have to wonder, was this more of a Jeff decision or more of a Fred decision, or is it just the changing of the guard with the ownership? I know Jeff has the title, but let's face it, Fred's money is in the team. Jeff's the front man now, but how much say does he have? This choice might say he's got a lot. It seems like he's the younger guy. He may have wanted to do something like this. And Fred was convinced to go along with it. We will probably never know how these things play out. But at least we have a general manager in time for the general manager meetings coming up in a couple of weeks, and the winter meetings coming up in a month, and we'll see what he can do. But the guy deserves a chance. And I'm not going to sit here and rip him apart like a certain media personality in New York, Mike Francesa, on an interview with him, totally attacked him. It was bizarre. It was unprofessional. It was just the most ridiculous thing. And then Francesa wonders why the Mets don't allow anybody on the station anymore. Yeah, they got dumped by the station, and they got a little petty and didn't have anybody on. And now the new general manager comes in, and he goes on to talk with Mike Francesa, and Francesca battles with him for 20 minutes. Didn't like the idea that Van Wagenen was positive, I guess, about his team. He scoffed at him, Francesa. did. Well, what do you want? He's not going to go on the air and say that the team sucks. The team stinks. Of course he's going to be positive. He's going to talk up his team. That's what you want to hear. That's what the fans want to hear. We know there's got to be improvements. But Francesa made such, ridiculous comments like, you inherited the Mets, not the Yankees. Well, you're a Yankee fan. I don't see the Yankees playing in the postseason too far. Yeah, they won the wild card and they played in a round, but they got beaten. I'm sick of hearing about the Yankees. And the Mets should forget about the freaking Yankees. Just go about their business. Don't compete with them, pain in the asses. And you know what? Don't let anybody on FAN then. If this is the attitude they're going to take and attack, I think Francesa was just jealous and ticked off that the Mets haven't allowed anybody on, and he took it off on Van Wagenen. And even in the course of the interview, Van Wagenen even said, I'm not trying to be combative here. I don't want to be combative. Where does Francesa don't know what Van Wagenen was told. He doesn't know what was said in negotiations. And yet he's questioning the man that was sitting in the room. Give me a break. Give me a break. You're old and crotchety. Go home, sit on a porch. You should have stayed retired. And yell at the kids to get off your lawn, because that's what you're doing on the air now. A lot of negativity, a lot of it aimed at the Mets. And just ridiculous. Just because he said he wants to give Callaway a chance, he likes him, he talked to him. Right away, Francesa says, well, you don't have autonomy. You're telling me you don't have autonomy because you're keeping Callaway or you're keeping Minaya. He can still have autonomy. Maybe he likes those guys. He worked with some of those guys in the past. And you don't want to go in and have because, if Van Wagenen come in here and fired everybody and hired people, then they say, oh, he's bringing in his own people and they don't have any experience at all. Isn't that what we said about Callaway last year? But he's worked with some of these guys. He likes some of these guys. He's keeping them around to help him learn the ropes. Nothing wrong with it. Of course, the Francesa there is because, oh, you don't have autonomy. Go root for your team in the Bronx. Don't talk about my team. Go root for your team in the Bronx and leave the Mets alone. I hope we beat the pants off of them this year. Go ahead. Win 100 games. You only got the wild card, and you lost in the division series. So, look. Don't talk to us. Yankees have got some problems, too. Let's see what they're going to do to Great Cashman. Don't talk about my team. All right, time to take a break. We'll be back with some more news. It's going to be a short show tonight. Not a lot of stuff coming out, but we got a couple of things I'd like to hit on. And so let's take a break and be back after this.
Hey, baseball fans and book fans as well. This is Frank Nappi, author of the Legend of Mickey Tussler series, inviting all of you to learn more about my protagonist, Mickey Tussler, an incredible pitching prodigy who has autism. Follow Mickey's journey as he captures the hearts of fans everywhere with his blazing fastball and indomitable spirit. Please visit Amazon or www.franknappi.com for more information.
Hi, this is the world-famous Mr. Brewtown of BrewtownSports.podomatic.com. You know, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Brewtown Sports. You can also listen to the show at Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, and iTunes.com. And we've got the new one. It's called BrewtownRadio.weebly.com. But the one that I'm most proud of being on is BaseballPodcast.net. It is the home of great baseball talk shows. Check it out, my show and all kinds of other programs all about Major League Baseball. So check it out. That's baseballpodcast.net, the home for great baseball talk shows.
The Phillies and Mets rivalry has never been better. Hi, my name is Rich Baxter, and I host Phillies Talk Podcast. I hope you'll join me as we talk all about the Phillies all season long. That's Phillies Talk Podcast at fightinphillies.com. And now back to Gary Mack and this great edition of Mets Musings.
516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show. And drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail, question, anything at all. Call that number, 516-619-6341. Or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe, and you can leave a voicemail right through your computer through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings, and the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1. And if you'd like to help out the show, check out our Patreon page. Check out the campaign at patreon.com/MetsMusings. All right, I like that music there. That's pretty neat. Okay, so let's see. There's a report in the New York Post, I think it was. Mike Puma, New York Post, says former New York Mets general manager Omar Minaya will be the top advisor. Let me click this thing again. I keep forgetting to do that. For new GM Brodie Van Wagenen. Puma also notes that assistant GM John Ricco and special assistant JP Ricciardi have been told they are wanted back if they decide to stay. The Mets introduced Van Wagenen, as we said, as the new GM, and said that he has full autonomy to make decisions on staff and players. Minaya returnned to the Mets in December of 2017 as a special assistant to the GM, where his focus was expected to be on scouting and player development. Minaya was previously the Mets GM from 2004 to October of 2010 when he was fired. Man, I don't think, he wasn't really fired because of his job, because of what he was doing with the job. There was a lot of other issues involved there, I think, with the minor league guy, Bernazard, I think his name was, going nuts and fighting everybody and crazy stuff. So I think that led up to it, and plus they hadn't won, so that didn't help either, the two collapses. But that's the news on Omar Minaya and the other guys. They've been asked to return, and look, you know what? Like I said, let the guy hire who he wants to, or even if he's forced to hire these guys, he'll find a way to work with them. And if he doesn't, he'll get rid of them. There'll always ways of getting rid of people. But at least, give them a chance. Holy cow. I mean, that stuff is crazy. One of the things he's going to have to look at is the catching position. JT Realmuto is available, apparently. He does not want to play in Miami anymore. He has 2 years, I think, left on his contract. I don't know. Will there be a bidding war in the NL East to get him? Should the Mets get involved? What would you give up? Email me. MetsMusings@gmail.com. Let me know. Or call, leave a voicemail, 516-619-6341. And let me know what you guys think. What would you be willing to give up for JT Realmuto? Would you give up Dunn? Justin Dunn? How about a package? Alonzo, Dunn, maybe Peterson and Giminez? Does that get it done? No pun intended. Do you have to add maybe a major league pitcher, maybe a Mats? And please, they are not going to take Jay Bruce. They don't want salary. They want young, controllable players. Minor league is ready for the majors or a tad lower. They would probably be interested in a Peter Alonso, a Justin Dunn, a David Peterson. The other guy that I can't think of, the lefty from Connecticut. That's what they're looking for. Maybe a Kellenic they would want to take. Or draft picks. They don't want Jay Bruce. So please, they don't want Todd Frazier. Please, if you write or call in, do not mention these ball players. And please don't tell me Kevin Plawecki for JT Realmuto one up. If that's the case, then why would he be trading Plawecki if you think he's that good? So, let's be realistic about this whole thing. It's going to take top prospects. Do you want to spend that? Do you want to spend that kind of a package of the future to get a young catcher, granted, but still, it may be a lot to give up. Now you have no other catcher in the organization. I mean, you got Nito and you got and look, I've said this before. Nito made a jump from Double-A. It's really tough to do. So, I mean, I'm not, there's nothing against him. He had a struggle with the bat. But really, that's a tough jump. He could maybe work out okay down the road, but we don't know that. But, I don't know. You have to really consider what you really want to give up. Do you give up a Nimmo? Maybe a Nimmo had to be in the package. Or Rosario. If you think that Giminez is ready or somebody else for a year can carry the shortstop position and you're going to make yourself better by including Rosario. Maybe you trade a Rosario and Alonzo and a Dunn for Realmuto. I don't know. I don't know what Miami's looking for. But do you want to get into it and see? Then you have to put cards on the table, and it's going to have to be prospects. Going to have to be big-time prospects. Maybe even some of the other pitchers that you're high on that we saw this year. Who knows? But that's what it's going to take probably. All right, let's just duck out here for a second and come back and wrap this up.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for interesting baseball talk, opinions, and history.
Baseball and BBQ, your place for barbecue recipes, tips, and interviews from the world of barbecue. If you like baseball and if you like barbecue, then tune in to Baseball and BBQ. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and BaseballTalkRadio.com, along with Mets Musings and other great baseball podcasts.
All right, we could do it down on a farm, but it's really not. It's not a farm type of thing. But Peter Alonzo and Andres Giminez having good seasons out in the Arizona Fall League. Alonzo was red hot when he first started. Cooled off a little bit, but he was banging homers all over the place. Now he's cooled off, but they have both been named to the All-Star team, or that equivalent out there, and so I just wanted to, acknowledge that because they are having a good season for the who is it? Scottsdale Scorpions, I believe they're on. So having good fall league out there, and that's good news for the Mets. And look, Alonzo, he's ready. I mean, he's ready, willing, and able. Keep forgetting to click that. He's ready, willing, and able to do the job and to come up and do it and work on his defense and whatnot. So, good for him. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this week's show. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on iTunes, Google Play, wherever you listen to the podcast. And until next time, remember, keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets. Good night, everybody.